Hello again. This is the second part of the food packaging in chapter 5. So I will continue on the third point, which is the requirement of the food packaging. Usually when we want to design a food packaging, there are several requirements that we will refer to. Here are the 10 requirements that we can check or have in mind. The first one is the food safety and protection. The primary function of food packaging is to protect food products from the external contaminants like bacteria, dirt, pollutant, and it must also prevent damage and spoilage during the transportation and storage. So the protections and the safety of the food is the first requirement in designing the packaging or in choosing the packaging materials. Number two is the material suitability. Packaging materials must be suitable for food contact. They should not react with the food or leach any harmful chemicals into it. So this is particularly important for acidic or fatty food, which can interact with a certain packaging materials. Um, if you refer to the foil, the aluminium foil that you used in baking or in cooking, usually we don't use the aluminium foil when we cook or prepare or package food that are acidic. This is because the acid can react with aluminiums, and that's why of the cases that has been reported, they found more and more aluminium in human body because of the leaching of this material into the food products. So the third one, the requirement is based on the barrier properties. Good packaging should have appropriate barrier properties to protect the food from oxygen, moisture, and light, which can lead to spoilage and degradations of the product. The fourth requirement is the labeling and the information. As mentioned earlier on, legal requirements often mandate that packaging provides essential information, including ingredients, nutritional information, expiration dates, allergen warnings, and instruction for use or storage. A next requirement on the packaging is the sustainability of it. There is a growing emphasis on environmental friendly packaging. So this includes using recyclable, biodegradable, or compostable materials and minimizing the overall environmental footprint of the packaging process. The sixth requirement is the convenience and the functionality. This packaging should be designed for the ease of use, including aspects like resealability, portability, and ease of opening. For certain products, this may also include microwavable or open or oven safe property. So I think the convenience and the functionality has become one of the main criteria or requirement by the consumer, which we have to think through it more. The seventh requirement is on the legal compliance. Food packaging must comply with local, national, and international regulations and standard, which can vary widely depending on the region and the type of food product that you are producing. And let's say you wanted to supply food internationally, for example, in Brunei or in China or in the Europe, they have different legal or standards, regulatories that you have to comply, and hence you have to check with their standards that they are following or abide to. The eighth requirement is at the marketing and aesthetic points. So the packaging often plays a crucial role in marketing of the product as we know it. It should be visually appealing to consumers with effective branding. and sometimes tailored to specific target markets or retail environment. So if you have food product for kids or food product for the adults, generally they will have a different designing or coloring or strategy that will put on the product packaging. The ninth requirement is the durability and storage efficiency. Packaging should be strong enough to withstand the rigors of shippings and handling, and should be designed to maximize storage efficiency, both in terms of logistic and on the retail shelves, right? And the last but not least, and usually this is the case as well, the packaging should be cost effective. While meeting all the above requirements, it has to be economically viable, and it should be cost effective in terms of the material production and transportation, because otherwise it will be very difficult to sustain the production of the product food or the food product. So by meeting all these 10 requirements, food packaging ensures product integrity, complies with regulatory standards, meets consumer expectations, and contribute to the overall sustainability of the food chain. Mm. Okay, these are the examples of the requirements that we have to refer to in terms of the physical condition, like vibrations, mechanical shock, abrasion, deformation, temperature, relative humidity, water, and tampering. So apparently we have special or specific design requirement that we have to refer to. The vibration, we have to determine the resonant frequency. For example, the deformations of the product, we have to determine the safe compressive load and many other. And this is the second example. Oxygen is one of the critical factor that we have to refer to when we design the packaging. We have to determine required barrier level. At one point, we also have to calculate the oxygen transfer rate, i.e., how much is acceptable or how much other oxygen can be transferred through the packaging to the food product. So we have carbon dioxide, we have light, we have spoilage, and many other. And these are the typical atmospheres for selected food products. If you have red meat, and this is what you should modify your conditions to, oxygen should be about 40%, carbon dioxide about 20%, and nitrogen about 40%. Meanwhile, if you have these baked goods, oxygen should be kept to 1% and carbon dioxide about 60% and 39% of the nitrogen. So all these are actually gases or the active gases that we have to consider while choosing the packaging for our product. Okay, in terms of the legal requirements, we have this like 10 legal requirements, compliance and regulations. They are the food contact material safety, labeling of the regulations, the compliance and specific materials regulation, the traceability of the supply chain, the environmental regulations, whether or not there are legal requirements related to the environmental impact of the packaging, the migration limits. Often it specify the migration of substances from the packaging into the food. So these limits are based on scientific assessments on the levels of what are safe for human consumption. And we have this specific product regulation such as baby food, dairy products, they might have particular regulatory standards that we should comply to. GMP, the good manufacturing practices, or if there are any tamper evident packaging. There are certain products that require this tamper evident packaging, especially those are prone to tampering. Uh, so they might want you to provide, like, for example, the water, the mineral water. You once it is being opened, then you can see the broken part of the closing cap. And last but not least, the barcoding and other identification standards. For example, logistic and this inventory management. Okay, right.